welcome to the Good Morning Show. We're your hosts, Rowan Roach
and Abigail Wood. Welcome to our viewers on Mars Cable Vision Channel 116 and those joining us on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram at Lyfe TV.
Here are the Lyfe news highlights for today. Manhunt on after baby chopped to death, mom wounded. Manchester Festival Queen gives helping hand to fire victims. And Secretariat at last for Manchester Justices of the Peace. More on the Good Morning Show after these messages. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show, and here are the Lyfe news highlights. The Manchester police were recently hunting taxi operator Sean McPherson, who is accused of chopping his infant son to death and wounding the boy's mother yesterday morning. He is believed to have set his car on fire following the incident, and law enforcers in the parish are theorizing that he has jumped to his death into a sinkhole in the community of Ramble, close to Porus, where he grew up. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent David White, said that a team from the Jamaica Fire Brigade went to the sinkhole to see what they could uncover, but they were not successful because they needed additional support. He said that they would have continued their search with assistance from the Jamaica Defense Force. Police report that about 6:30 a.m. McPherson had a dispute with his child's mother at their home on McKinley Drive in Mandeville, resulting in him chopping and wounding her and their 8-month-old son Rasheen. The baby, who was chopped in the forehead, succumbed to his injuries in hospital. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information advised that the Primary Exit Profile (PEP) examination for grade 4 students was postponed at Ramble Primary School, where the woman is a teacher. A trauma team was sent to the school and classes were dismissed early. Principal Lenford Pinnock said the wounded teacher was instrumental and dedicated in preparing the students for PEP, even providing classes on weekends at no cost. She underwent surgery and is currently recovering. Pinnock said that the trauma team should be back at the school, but he was still awaiting guidance from the ministry to see when the students would be sitting the PEP examination. Residents of Ramble say that everyone is afraid of the sinkhole, in which it is being speculated that McPherson might have ended his life. White said that the police are still uncertain about what caused the dispute between the couple. Miss Crystal Scale, Miss Manchester Festival Queen 2018, whose reign officially ended June 2nd, recently rendered support for a family in the parish whose home and possessions were ravaged by fire. Karine Smith-White, still trying to deal with the untimely passing of her husband in January, on April 6 lost her home in Spring Grove, Porus, where she lived with 4 of her children and 2 grandchildren. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Recently, when Miss Scale and her team visited Miss White's parents' home, where she is now staying temporarily, the festival queen and her team brought with them items of clothing, food, school supplies, and toiletries. Miss Scale, whose main project for the year, 4Ts, Transforming Trash to Treasures, was aimed at recycling waste, also donated to the family a sleeping mat made from scandal bags. The sleeping mat project, she said, is intended to alleviate discomfort for the homeless and is among environmental and other initiatives she plans to continue. It's overwhelming, Smith-White said, of the donation. She's hoping that they can receive a home through Food for the Poor. Miss Scale's donation to the family was done in collaboration with non-profit AXM Foundation and other partners. Approximately 400 justices of the peace in Manchester now have a secretariat to conduct their business. It's been a long wait for the facility, which is located on an acre of leased state-owned land at 24 Grove Road in Mandeville. The formal groundbreaking ceremony for the project took place in 2012. Mr. Stanley Skeen, president of the Manchester chapter of the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica, told a recent dedication ceremony that construction of the secretariat took immense commitment to service. Phase 1 of the project, which includes a meeting room and a paved driveway to the facility, is complete. The project reportedly started with a donation from the Justice of the Peace and businessman Mr. Artie Phillips, who sold a plot of land he owned and handed over the proceeds to the organization. Skeen commended past President Trevor Heaven for being a driving force for the project. Mr. Heaven redesigned the plan, intensified the construction, strengthened the partnerships with various organizations, funding agencies, and individuals. Heaven reported that it took about $12 million to take the project to where it is at present, and additional funds will have to be sourced to continue the work. He said that following further expansion, the building is intended to accommodate related organizations such as the Victim Support Unit, Legal Aid Clinic, and the Office of the Custos. It will also serve as a venue for functions. The dedication ceremony was preceded by a service at the Mandeville Parish Church, at which Reverend Barrington Suarez reminded justices of the peace of their responsibilities. That's it for Life Highlights. We'll now hand over to Abby for the weather report.
Let's look at today's weather forecast. Today, we will experience partly sunny skies in the morning, and there will be light rain in the afternoon, with wind speeds of 26 miles per hour. The sun rises tomorrow morning at 5:34 a.m. and sets at 6:46 p.m. That's it for Life Weather. Up next, we will have Rowan with the sports report.
Thank you, Abby. Now for Live Sports. Marquee batsman Hayley Matthews says securing 2 points from their recent final game against England will be critical for West Indies, especially following heavy defeats in the opening 2 one-day internationals of the series. The Caribbean side suffered a 208-run loss in the opener at Leicester recently, their heaviest ever defeat to England in ODI before going down by 121 runs under Duckworth Lewis in a previous match ranked its second outing here. And with just one more game to salvage points and pride, Matthews said it was important to the Windies to give it their all. In a contest reduced to 41 overs per side because of rain, West Indies produced an improved bowling performance to restrict England to 233 for 7. However, the Windies then slumped to 32 for 4 after 13 overs before the rain halted the encounter. On resumption, the visitors were set a revised target of 209 off 28 overs, which proved beyond their capabilities. Despite the defeat, Matthews hailed the improved performance over the first outing. The 2 defeats have left West Indies from bottom in the 8th team ICC Women's Championship onto 11 points, with host New Zealand and the top 4 teams gaining automatic qualification for the 2021 World Cup. Netball stars such as Elaine Davis, Vangelie Williams, Romelda Aiken, to name a few, all advanced from the Clarendon Netball Association to be a part of Jamaica's national senior team, Sunshine Girls. Vangelie is presently the vice captain. Elaine was the team's best goal shooter before being succeeded by Romelda Aiken. The partnership between Juicy and CNA provides the resources and opportunities for women like Elaine Vangelie and Romelda to play competitively and to empower them to realize their true athletic potential on the local and international scene. This year, Juicy Patties donated $1.3 million to the 2019 Junior and Senior League Summer Games. CNA has 36 clubs consisting of 15 members each in the parish. With this year's donation, there will be a summer playoff where each club team will play breathlessly for the 2019 Juicy Netball Championship, as well as to secure the spot of the netball. CNA has 36 clubs consisting of 15 players each in the parish. With this year's donation, there will be a summer playoff where each club team will play breathlessly for the 2019 Juicy Netball Championship, as well as to secure the spot of the next netball star. Juicy Patties is devoted to playing an active role in giving back to the community through sponsoring, sporting, educational, and uplifting initiatives. Stay tuned. When we get back, Abby will have some healthy life hacks to share.
Central Jamaica, it's what you've been waiting for. Your own television station on Mars Cable Vision. Lifestyle, youth, family, and educational television. Life TV. Nobody does it like Life TV. Your #1 channel for sports, health, current affairs, wealth management, religious programs, charity matters, and lifestyle programs. Life TV, the most effective way to advertise your business, highlight your community involvement, and host your own TV show. Find us on channel 116 on Mars. To advertise, call 876-881-5968. Remember, nobody does it like Life TV.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. And now for the Healthy Life Hacks. Today, we will be taking a closer look at migraine. Now, you may be wondering what a migraine is. Well, this is a recurring throbbing headache that typically affects one side of the head and is often accompanied by nausea and disturbed vision. Tips on how to soothe or avoid this pounding headache. Rest in a quiet, dark room. Many people with migraines report sensitivity to light and sound. Apply a hot or cold compress. Place the compress across your forehead or at the back of the neck. Try mindful meditation. Avoid alcohol or chocolate-based products. Stay hydrated, massage your temples, and exercise. Your health is your responsibility. More health facts after the break.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Today we have with us Miss Crystal Scale, who is a 2018 winner of the JCDC Festival Queen competition. Presently, she works as a social media manager and administrative assistant for the NGO Young Women and Men of Purpose. Currently, she's the project manager and founder for her parish project named 4Ts, Transforming Trash to Treasures. Wow, so young, but yet still so many achievements.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Good Morning Show, Miss Scale. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you and sharing with your viewers.
And how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Under the weather, but coming on so far.
All right.
All right, talk to us a little about your reign as Festival Queen.
Well, I'm constantly asked that question, and the best answer is you are empowered with a platform to create multiple platforms. I got an opportunity to empower myself through personal development and learning new skills through trainings, and then I got an opportunity to attain exposure, meet persons I would maybe never would have met so easily, and network well. And what I think is just amazing is you say, I see something in you to be a cultural ambassador to represent the parish in Jamaica, and you can go forth and be that positive role model. I thought of it as humbling, and it was even great just being out there, interacting with persons and in some way impacting their lives. I said in my interview, I wanted my words, my voice, and my actions to make a positive impact, and to believe that at least one life would have been impacted in a positive way is a reign well spent for me.
Okay, and what's your story behind the 4Ts, Transforming Trash to Treasures?
So 4Ts actually started out with a combination of different things that mean a lot to me. For one, I love the environment, and I wanted to do something that could help to tap into the consciousness of our people in our nations, to say, let us be the nation builders making a positive change. And I wanted it to be interactive, that youth would find it as something that they could be a part of, and something that could go on a broader scale. In addition to that, I also wanted to tackle scandal bags because we were always hearing about the plastic bottles, but we're never really hearing about the scandal bags, you know? And the root of it all was that when I was going to Manchester High in sixth form, I wanted to start a charity. I got really ill and I literally gave up everything, including my charity. So the opportunity to have a project to go and do what I love and combine everything I love with it really gave birth to 4Ts.
So you wouldn't say you really gave up because you're still here.
That is true. That is true. But at the time, I literally had to stop a lot of the things that I was a part of just to go into recovery. But I think, God works in mysterious ways because I took a detour and took on something else that still allows me to give back because now I started off with the flagship product, the sleeping mat prototype from Scandal Bags for the Homeless.
All right, well, let's give God thanks for that.
Amen.
So, seeing that a ban has been placed on plastic bags, what other alternatives are you planning to use?
Well, that's an amazing question. So what I did was I brought with me the perfect example. To say to you is one thing, but to show you is another. So what I've done is I started to look at other things that we're using that we never really thought of, but are also being improperly disposed of. They are like your bread bags, your tissue bags, the bags when you buy your jumbo pack rolls of hand towels, all of those bags that leave the packaging. And I use them to also be upcycled to make a sleeping mat, and these are the colored sleeping mats. So I still can use them.
Okay. So tell us why you chose to render assistance to the fire victims as opposed to any other person or family who may be in need.
You remember I mentioned to you God works in mysterious ways?
Yes.
I've been planning for some time to make the donations, and every time I planned, something came up. And it happened that a friend of mine from NCU, Kyle Brown, through the AXM Foundation, reached out to me and said, Crystal, I heard that there's a family in Porus and they lost their home in a fire. And after hearing about the plight and knowing that this mother would have lost her husband 3 weeks prior to and then to lose her home and everything with it, I thought it's a great way to channel a mat that could be of some assistance. So we joined hands, we reached out to other persons in Manchester, and do not underestimate the power of just losing compassion in the heart, because so many persons came on board, and I thought, you know what, we'll get the donations, and I'll also get to give my mat to a family who could really appreciate having something that I call just a representation of my love and my consideration for someone else in need.
Okay, so how does it feel to be able to give back to the less fortunate and the needy among us? It must feel good, not true? Your heart bubbling.
Oh man, I think to do anything that is kind is a priceless gift for someone who receives it, but it also is a priceless gift for yourself because you're making a positive impact in someone else's life.
Okay, and seeing that your reign has ended, will your 40s project continue?
It definitely will. When I conceptualized the project, it was never just designed to meet a requirement for the competition. It was designed for me to start off by laying the foundation for something I really want to do. So it will be ongoing. We have other donations in the planning, and we'll also be even going back to the family, hopefully if all goes as well, this month to follow up and more mats will be given out, and you will definitely hear about it.
Okay. As former festival queen, what advice do you have for other females who may be faced with self-esteem issues, and what advice would you leave for the next festival queen? We might join. I don't know yet.
My advice to females who are struggling with self-esteem issues and just females overall, because we all do have that moment when our self-esteem really is not
very
that
low.
high up.
Yeah.
It is esteem and self means it starts with you. So you have to take the time to tap into who you are, get into your head and what are you thinking, what are you putting in, what are you bringing into your space? Is it what is going to help to uplift you, or is it what's going to have to tear you down? Because to esteem yourself means you have to build up yourself, build up your way of thinking, and having practical ways to get yourself back to where you need to be anytime when you falter. So if I was to give an example, it's to say you wake up in the morning and whether it is a positive or a negative thought comes to you, it's actually smiling at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you. If a negative thought comes to your head to say, oh my God, my nose is too big, I wish my nose was as straight as hers, it's saying, no, you channel that thought in another way and start to highlight what is good about you. And once you can do that, then you start to do other things, such as dressing to fit you and love you and being a part of things that help you to develop yourself.
Okay, and would you like to exhibit your sleeping mat?
I will. Before I do, though, there was another part of your question that I didn't answer, and it was my message to the next festival queen. Her name is Aisha Nation,
Okay.
and I have been blessed to have the opportunity to interact with her. And I said to her this, and I'll say to her again: it is never forget your why. In whatever you're doing, you need to never forget why you started, because there will be challenges that you're going to need that why to propel you on. And in addition to doing that, just enjoy the journey. You've worked hard to come this far. Channel the joy and the passion into making that positive impact. And every time when you go out there, never think about what everybody's expecting of you, or the judging, or the eyes on you, because you do kind of get subconscious about it sometimes. But instead, to just say, I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to align myself with the persons who can help me to do my best, network, and make that positive impact. And no, for the mat. so this would be the upgraded prototype. So in the newspaper, persons would have seen a sleeping mat that looks thicker and the styles are a little bit different. I call that my baby because that was the first design, but this is the upgraded prototype design. And it's still over 200 scandal bags of cycle to make a sleeping mat prototype. So this is the updated design. What I love about this is that it's lighter and it's greater for portability. And I designed the first one with headrest and footrest, but because of how amazing this is, you could just fold it up and make the headrest yourself. I also designed it with the intention in mind that the project is not just only for the homeless. The homeless is just a part of vulnerable groups that we want to give back to. But we also wanted it to be something that, if I'm trying to encourage you to take on upcycling as a way of reducing plastic pollution, that I need to make it a way that you can benefit and appreciate it. So with that in mind, you could use it if you're an outdoors lover and maybe you're going camping, and maybe just going to some place and you want that mat to spread out and get comfortable, you have it. And then persons always say, it's so black. What about something with color? So when we started to look at your bread bags and your tissue bags and other plastic bags, we said, let's make the colored mat. So after making the scandal bag mat, we got into making the colored mat. Someone said to me, oh, I see the bread that I eat. I don't know if you can see it too, but this is literally your bread bag right there. Your tissue bag right there.
I see the juicy beef bag.
You see the juicy beef bag as well. Yeah, so these are, and these, now ladies, if you love to shop and you've got that right packaging and you just chuck it out without a thought, this is your packaging right here. So you take that blouse out of the packaging bag, this is your packaging bag.
Wow.
So it's literally what we take and we discard and say is not useful anymore, being reused and upcycled to make something that we can enjoy. And these are the samples of the sleeping mat.
So how long does it take you to make a sleeping mat?
So after editing our production process, the upgraded prototype that I showed you before, 24 hours. And I must say...
You alone?
So no. How it works is my mother and I literally, the team in addition to my team, because she is my creativity director for the project. I will say majority of the work was done by one. What we'd have done is separated in team to prepare the bags, and then the other, we would have had our device on hand and we would just go through the process of making it. I must say that this was on the first try, 24 hours. So the more you practice means the better you get at anything. So I am very confident and hopeful it's going to be cut down from 24 hours. And the more hands, faster the time goes by.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us on the Good Morning Show, Miss Scale. Sorry. As you go for a break, would you like to say anything to our viewers?
I think if I was to ever just leave a message with anybody who's hearing me or seeing me right now, it is really take the time to love and appreciate yourself, because I believe in anything that we do, once we develop self, anything else that we can offer or give of ourselves to anyone else becomes better. And in doing so, never forget every day at the end of the day to maybe take a step back from social media, take a step back from situations that are not best for us, and build ourselves again. And I just wish for you a wonderful rest of your day.
That's it. You've heard it from our 2018 JCDC Festival Queen.
know why you forget. Is it?
Live TV. The Manchester Peace Coalition and Advocate for Change Jamaica present the third staging of Celebrating Him, a Father's Day entertainment event at Brooks Park, Mandeville on Sunday, June 16. Dr. Reed is here to tell us more about Celebrating Him.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners. Yes, I'm very excited to tell you about our Father's Day event coming up this Sunday. First of all, just a little background as to why Father's Day event. First of all, I think most of us are aware that most of the perpetrators as well as victims of crime are young males. And we think that part of the reasons why we are seeing this kind of behavior from our young males is because they're lacking sufficient direction and guidance from a male figure in their lives. I think statistics across the world bear that out. And so we feel that one way to improve this as a crime fighting method is to try and find model fathers and hold them up to these young people and to society that these are persons we think you should emulate. The Mother's Day is well known across Jamaica, the world. And comes Father's Day, you know, the usual customary handkerchief or tie, a necktie or whatever. I am here to tell all the women in Jamaica that men send a message. We don't want any more of those things. If you are in these parts in Manchester, we want you to be taken to Brooks Park as our Father's Day present. What it is, so this is the third staging of it. Last year we started with a church service. Andrew's Church conducted the church service from the location, and the members were so overwhelmingly supportive that this year again, and we hope going forward, we'll start church service at 9:30 in the morning, and that goes until about 11:30. Then gate will open at about 12 to 12:30, and the event will go on the way in earnest, starting at 1 o'clock by serving meals and so on. This last year, we found that the fact that children had to come and they had to pay for rides and whatever was a bit of a deterrent. And we want the children who come to enjoy themselves fully. And so we have appealed to our supporters, and we're going to make all rides free. So there'll be pony rides, there'll be a Ferris wheel, the bouncers, and to top it now, we're going to have a mini petting zoo for the children, and we're going to have a puppet show. That is always a very popular thing for children. A whole host of things are going to happen on that day. First of all, we managed to partner with Advocate for Change Jamaica, as you mentioned in your opening remarks. And they have been for about 2-3 years now, have been doing this Super Dad thing, National Super Dad thing in Jamaica. So they are going to be conducting that exercise, but from the park. Now, you may know, some of you may know, as Manchester Peace Coalition, we are working with 18 so-called at-risk communities. And the objective, of course, is to try and impact in a positive way the crime and violence in Manchester in particular, country in general. So it's a natural marriage if they're into promoting fathers in Jamaica. So they will be conducting the competition from the event, and we've managed to engage fathers from all of the 18 communities in that process. So they have a chance of winning the national competition. But also, each community will be conducting the competition, and we'll hope to get 2 or 3 fathers for a second and third place. And we're going to give them tickets to come to the event, and we're going to give them gifts and so on, show them the gifts and so on. But importantly, last year I think that over the last 2 years, we've attempted to have what we call Adopt a Dad for the Day. What it is essentially is that we invite children from children's homes to come. We put their names in a hat, and we invite the men who are there to pull a kid's name, and essentially invite that kid to sit among your family members, chat with them, make them feel this thing. Because, you know, in the homes, they have lots of house mothers. The generally speaking, they're lacking fathers. So all these men here come to the event, pick a child, and mentor the child, make the child feel like experience what fathering is like on Father's Day. So we think it's a novel thing. And so the men that will win from these communities, part of what they will require to do is to pick a child and adopt that child for the day.
So even non-fathers can pick a child?
Yes, you can, but of course, first preference will go to people who are fathers and have the experience and so on. The other thing we've done as well is that we've partnered with a path-connected group headed up by Dr. Bridget Barrett, and they will be conducting a workshop for fathers with children on path. And we're looking excitedly at that to see. We're going to, of course, give them some gifts and make them feel well. Their tickets are going to be funded, and maybe a child or maybe a spouse as well. So it's a lot of really useful information that will be going back. But beyond that now, in terms of entertainment, we're going to have a stage show, we're going to have a puppet show, we're going to have a magician. Wendy knows the magician very well. We're going to have, on the health side, we're going to have lots of health checks, HIV screening, blood sugar screening, and so on. There is a skit depicting aspects of fathering. I think, let me see what they call it, Real Men. And this is a bar scene, the people playing dominoes and stuff, and the dynamics of that. All in all, I really would, there will be a fashion show, the usual things, fashion show, classic cars, puppet show, Red Cross should be there doing some, looking at first aid around the home. Jamaica Moves will be there, and health checks and so on. I think it is shaping up to be the best Father's Day gift that anyone can get. And I would challenge anyone to find a better Father's Day gift. So $1,500 for adults, pre-sold, and $1,800 at the gate, and a flat rate of $500 for children.
And rides free.
Rides are free all day. And the music, with the live band music, step by step, will be keeping people on their toes. So I am excited about this. I really think it's the best place to be on Father's Day, and I will encourage everybody looking on. Whilst we're enjoying ourselves, we're also making a significant contribution to the Mustard Seed Home. And again, we're making a donation to you remember that slain police officer, Corporal Melvin Smith? Well, the Manchester Peace Coalition has undertaken to fund their high school education. And we are therefore, all of these various events that we have, the fundraising part of the contribution will go towards that. Okay. I believe this is something people should want to be attend, and we hope that this will become a huge event each year, but not just at Brooks Park. We want to actually spread this event across Jamaica so that every nook and cranny benefit from the positives from this event. So we would love to see communities across Jamaica lifting up model fathers as role models for young people to emulate. Right now, my personal opinion is that there are too many negative role models for young people, and it's no wonder then that we see these behaviors that is, a horror to most well-thinking Jamaicans. So again, this Sunday, Brooks Park, church service at 9:30, gates open at 12, the action starts at 1 o'clock. All rides are free, bring your family, come down and enjoy.
Where can our viewers get or buy tickets?
Right. Tickets are available at Villa Pharmacy, at Fontana Pharmacy, and from members of the Manchester Peace Coalition. You can call 876-383-1152 as a ticket outline if you want to make queries. And if you want to make donations, we're still accepting donations. We still, up until Friday, we can still offer space for persons who want to have displays and stuff, booth space, a 10 by 10 booth and tables and chairs for $10,000. People can share a booth. And come on, make this a memorable occasion for everybody.
Okay, well, we wish you a successful event, Dr. Reed.
Yes, thank you. We're looking forward to that.
We all are.
Great.
And now for the birthday shoutouts. Happy birthday, Janice Sanderson, O'Keefe Gooden, Ryan Smith, Jermaine Brown, Andy K. Blair. Hope you have an amazing day.
Thanks for joining us on today's show. Remember to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Lyfe TV.